Welcome back to the Liberty Forum. And I'm sitting here with Jody Underwood. Jody, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, a little tired after, a day and a half of doing this stuff, but yeah, I'm good.
Did you give a presentation, right?
Yep, did one yesterday.
And what was that about?
So the title was something like why education makes people lose their minds.
And why is that?
There's no simple answer. But the bottom line, the takeaway message that I was trying to put forth was that because when people think about education, they change the way they ask questions. So, the prime thing that triggered this for me was at my town meeting. We have these yearly meetings where you go and you vote on budgets and so on. In the morning is the town meeting, in the afternoon is the district meeting. And in the morning, everybody there is like, wait, do we need that? Why are we doing that? And wait, you have that cost? Can't we make it lower? Right? They're asking really good questions. In the afternoon, they go home for lunch, they come back. And the afternoon, often the same people are like, oh, yeah, we should totally fund that. This is for the children. It's like they went nuts, right? So these people but they're asking different questions. They're not even asking questions in the afternoon, right? It's this should thing, and it's a feel good thing. And I think that makes them think differently about it, right? And why do they do that for school? Because, it's this generational thing. They've attached their identity to their local school. It's been around forever. It's our little village school, and that's just the small town thing. It's jobs program. It's for the children, and we put that in air quotes. Because everything we do is for the children too, but we're not. The schools are out of control with costs, and they're not teaching all the kids how to read. And how does that not get through to everybody? Again, they're brainwashed, right? They've been trained to listen to authority, possibly because of the schools. And they're not going to question it because they're afraid of being shot down, right? Like, oh, you hate children if you vote against this. So it's there's the short answer.
When do you think it started really getting out of hand?
Well, so what's the it there? When did people start losing their minds over it? Is that what you mean?
Well, as education costs have gone up, there's real hardliners don't want to really do anything but spend more money, and they're not really changing. It doesn't seem like they're really changing anything in the schools to make.
Why would they?
Well, why would they? Why wouldn't they though? How long has it been since that has seemed to be the new norm?
The new norm that the costs keep going up,
and kids can't read, and they're being passed through school. My dad told me stories about it in Massachusetts in the 80s.
That's right. So there's a national test called the NAEP, National Assessment for Education Progress. They've been doing tests across the state since 1970. 69, I think, was the first year, but they talk about 1970 as being the first. And according to their scores, everything's flatlined. They've never done well. It's always been at around the 50% of kids are reading at grade level. This is 4th and 8th grade mostly. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, the costs since then have just gone up enormously.
And they let the kids graduate too.
They do.
And that's the biggest problem.
I feel that's the worst part.
Yeah.
They used to not let the kids graduate. They'd hold them back until they had a certain level, at least of reading. Those were those tests, right? A gate that you had to get through, mm-hmm. And now there is no gate. They socially promote everybody because, oh my God, how bad would those kids feel if we hold them back? And it's like, can you look forward beyond your nose and see that you're doing them a disservice? Because if they get into the 6th grade and they can't read, they're done for. And it's the elementary schools that should be just focusing on the individuals to make sure that they all can read at least at a 4th grade level before they move on, so that they're able to develop their reading. Because if you get out of there without knowing that, you're just sunk.
There's high schoolers that can't read.
There's college kids who can't read.
Yeah.
Community colleges all have these remedial classes, and now 4-year colleges do too, for reading and math, because they don't know the basics. This has been going on forever.
So what do you specialize in? What do you do exactly?
So what do? I talk about education a lot, but I run an organization. It's a nonprofit called Education Options. It's in New Hampshire. And we're trying to help families whose kids don't fit in public schools, and there are a lot of them. We're trying to help them understand what all their options are in New Hampshire. And that ranges from homeschooling to looking at homeschool groups and activities, homeschool co-ops and learning centers, things that nobody's ever heard of, all the way through to charter schools, which are public schools. And people don't know this. They don't know that they're public schools. And they don't know that they don't have a bound of district around them. So if there's a charter school that has seats available, you can send your kid there as long as you're willing to take them there.
Mhm.
You want to make sure you fit with that charter school because they have different approaches, and that's the point. They can, take whatever approach they want. They need approval from the state to do it, but they have fewer restrictions than the district public schools do. So anyway, if you can take your kid there, they can go to a different kind of school. But then there's also private schools, and and then you can mix it up, right? You can do a hybrid model. You can have tutors if you want to keep your kid in public school for whatever reason. Or you can homeschool, but send them to a learning center sometimes. And there are learning centers around the state. They exist more and more. They're growing. Since COVID, there's been a proliferation of learning centers and micro schools.
Of all the options available, what have you seen the highest success rate? I know every kid's different, but what would you say is the best model for educating a child?
There is no the best model because every kid is different, and parents. Everything has to fit. I personally think the best approach is homeschooling, and that doesn't mean sitting your kid at the kitchen table for 8 hours a day and having them do academics. Right? Most homeschoolers spend hour and a half or 2 doing, reading and math. And then the rest of the day is spent working on stuff they want to work on, figuring out what their interests are, what their proclivities are, what their abilities are. Because sometimes things you're good at, you don't even realize you're good at. Right. And that's where the parents come in and they can help guide them to good directions. They can even go to school part-time. If there's like a daycare problem and you need to, drop them off somewhere. If you're homeschooling, you can't do that full time in a public school, but there's lots of different options. You can take classes though. And if you're an independent homeschooler, you can do that for free. But if you're an EFA student, somebody who's taking education freedom accounts, then there's some question about whether they can do that for free. But there are options at that level.
Nice. And where can people find information out about your organization?
Right. Education Options is EdOpt, EDOPT.org. And we have a map in there, an interactive map with filters. So you can zoom into your town and check the things you're looking for. We actually just released a live chatbot, what we're calling it the EdOpt Navigator, where you can actually ask it questions. Like, I have a kid who doesn't fit into her high school. What are my options? And it'll ask you questions and get you to really good places. Honestly, with my interactions with it, I feel like it knows more than I do, which is just amazing. It has all of the state achievement data in there. It has our whole website. We have over 1,000 education providers in there, plus information about it. And it knows all the RSAs too, like what can I do in a certain situation, and it just does the search and it gets it, which is way quicker than me doing it. And if you're not satisfied with that, you can talk to people. There's a contact me kind of thing and set up an appointment thing too, and I do that with many people where they just come to me.
How many families do you think you've helped so far?
Oh goodness, I have no idea how to judge that, to tell you the truth, because I'm there like from the front end, and I don't know, how it ends up. Right? I've pointed people in directions where it clicks with them, and I'm just like, I know that's going to be a success.
Nice.
Whether it's homeschooling or charter schools. I want to add, charter schools, you don't pay tuition either. Got to throw that in.
You don't?
No tuition.
Because they're public.
They're public. That's right. And they can't not accept you if they have a seat open. They're public. We also have these face-to-face fairs around the state, and we have one coming up in Manchester on March 21st.
Okay.
And we're co-organizing it with the Children's Scholarship Fund. So, coming out to that, look on our website. It's in the events calendar. You can see it there. So, successes are all the people who come to the fairs and call us. And we get thousands of people to our website too. So I don't even know how to track that other than say, We have people coming to our website, you know, so a lot of energy gets thrown at me all the time about this stuff. So that alone feels like a success, you know, like keep doing this. This is the right thing. Glad somebody's doing it. Just
Nice.
all the time. Yeah.
Jody, thanks for sitting down with me.
Thank you for interviewing me.
It's good to see you again.
You too.